The Couple Next Door, written by Peg Lynch and starring Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce.
Speed limit 45.
That's all I'm doing, exactly 45.
Looks faster to me. Looks as though the needle's on 50, dear.
Darling, looks that way from your side. It's the angle at which you see the speedometer.
I see.
Yeah.
Ah, it's a lovely evening. Well, we certainly are taking advantage of having a baby nurse. We haven't done so much gadding for ages.
Well, do you good.
I think Miss Oglethorpe is too strict, however. You
Yeah.
can't discipline a 2-week-old baby. If he's hungry at 10 minutes to 2 and screams and yells, she won't feed him until exactly 2 o'clock on the nose.
Oh, well, it won't hurt him any. The nurse seems to know what she's doing.
Well, what if the clock is slow or fast and the baby is on time? How do you figure it then?
Oh, stop worrying. Enjoy yourself, will you? We don't have any children on our hands tonight. What time is Dorothy expecting us for dinner?
Well, I said you'd pick me up when you left the office, and we'd leave right away and get to West Valley about 6:30.
Yeah, well, I get through earlier. I guess it won't matter if we arrive a little earlier at her house.
Yeah, she'd probably be all upset. You know your sister. She'll be flying around with her hair in curlers, setting the table. And
Yeah, I know. She'll let out a yell when she sees us. You wait and see. Oh, you said you wouldn't be here until 6:30. I'm not ready. You mark my words.
Well, whatever happens, don't quarrel with your sister tonight.
Look, I never started.
Well,
you know
no
that.
matter what she says, don't let it get you. And if she says something to Buddy or if Harry does, don't interfere.
Darling,
dear.
I do not interfere. I never have.
No, you do.
But Buddy's being such a problem child is Dorothy's own fault.
Well, honey, I guess a lot of teenagers are problems these days.
Well, they don't need to be. You just got to handle them properly, that's all. Now, look, I don't anticipate any problems with our son at that age at all.
Oh, you don't? Oh,
No,
you
sir,
don't.
I am going to be ready for it. Now, look, it's when they're little you have problems, you know. When they're teenage, they just need understanding. At that age, they're capable of logical reasoning, which is something you can't use on small children.
I see.
I mean, it's simple.
Oh, I love summer when it stays light so long, don't you?
Mm-hmm. I see a couple of dark clouds up ahead.
Oh, now don't anticipate trouble. Please, dear, we don't see much of your sister anyhow. Let's not have a squabble tonight, huh? Let's have a pleasant visit.
Darling, I never start anything, will you? Now, the heck with all that. Come on, let's enjoy the ride. Let's talk about how pretty you are.
Oh, well, I won't object to that. Go on. Honey, keep your eyes on the road now.
You know, that's hard to do with you beside me.
Oh, you.
If you'd like to have your fortune told, you can look into the future of America and see your own future reflected there. And a tremendously bright future it is, too. America is on the verge of reaping the results of the greatest 10-year expansion in its history. New citizens are being born at the rate of 4 million a year. That means 4 million new consumers, requiring a tremendous annual increase in production of housing, commodities, and industry. Increased production means more jobs. Judging by past experience, 2 million new businesses will be established in the next 25 years. Value-conscious Americans are acting right now to take advantage of the present buyer's market to prepare for the day when demand far outstrips the supply. An expanding and changing America brings new needs, new opportunities. Find out what they are and what they mean to your future. Write for the big illustrated booklet, Your Great Future in a Growing America, Box 1776, Grand Central Station, New York, 17, New York. Box 1776, Grand Central Station, New York, 17.
Anybody home? Dorothy! I suppose she is. Hey, sis! Well, come on, screen door's unlocked. Let's go in.
I was just admiring Dorothy's lawn. This looks lovely.
Yeah,
really.
come on, let's go in.
Well,
You are not going, and that is final.
Uh-oh, she's home. Giving Buddy the dickens again, as usual.
Never mind that now. Dorothy, yoo-hoo!
Well, I tell you, that kid's not gonna develop any backbone at all.
All right,
will
now,
he?
let's be quiet.
for
Just be quiet.
heavens.
Well, hi, sis. I know. We're early.
Here I am, my hair in curlers, just setting the table. You said 6:30.
Well, he got through early.
Well, I
Hello,
tell you.
Dorothy.
Hello, I am so mad.
Well, I am going,
Well, you
anyhow.
are not going.
What is the matter?
It's the car. Buddy never thinks of anything else. He wants to take it to drive out to Tompkins Beach tonight for a picnic and swimming. I said he could go to a picnic today, but no, he wants to go out there and drive back tonight. It'll be dark midnight before he gets home. Well, he is not going to do it. 15 miles out there at night. He is not going.
Well, I am, too.
Aren't you going to say hello to your aunt and uncle?
If my dad were here, he would... Hello.
Oh, buddy.
If your father were here, he would certainly not let you.
Yes, he would.
Where is Harry?
Oh, he phoned this morning. He's going to be in Chicago another week. I told him you were coming for dinner. Well, I thought he'd be back.
Well, it's all right, Dorothy. My goodness, it's nice to see you,
Well,
dear.
I'm going.
I think your mother's right, buddy.
Dear,
You're
dear.
not my father.
Don't you talk to your uncle that way.
Well, that's all right, Daddy. It's all right. I understand how he feels. Now, I know I'm not your father, son, but you have to listen to people older than yourself. We know a little more about things than you do.
Ah, nuts.
Look, if you let him talk to me, to you like that,
Do I let him?
Well, boy, I tell you, if you ask me, Dorothy...
Well, nobody asked you, dear. And we're going to have a pleasant evening now. I want to visit with Dorothy and tell her about the baby.
Oh, yes, of course, the baby. I want to hear, too. Oh, well, wait till I go turn the oven on. Sit down now. I'll be right with
Well,
you.
I'm telling you something. That kid has no manners at all. No respect for older people.
First time I ever heard you refer to yourself as an older person.
Well,
Now, look, don't interfere.
Look, I'm not. You know what's going to happen, don't you? He shut himself in his room. Pretty soon Dorothy will feel sorry for him, and she'll give in. Now, you wait and see.
Well, you
She'll
just
give
stay
in.
out of it. You just stay out of it now.
I'm sorry we hadn't upset the minute you walked in.
Oh, think nothing of it,
Well,
Dorothy,
I
my...
just don't think he should go out there to the lake at night. He only got his junior license a week ago. He's just 16. He's not supposed to drive at all unless there's someone with a senior license there to make him legal, you know.
Look, I wouldn't
sure.
even argue with him, Dottie. That's where you make your mistake. You just take the car keys right away from him.
There are 2 sets, and he's got the other one. And I can't stop him physically. He's too big now.
Well, he certainly is a handsome boy, Dorothy, my goodness.
185 pounds and just over 6 feet.
185, he doesn't look.
Yeah.
It must be all muscle and so handsome. I'll bet the girls go for him.
Oh, yes, that's the trouble. He looks older than he is. But I get just sick at the thought of his driving at night. I wish you'd speak to him.
Well,
I don't think you should interfere,
No,
really,
no,
dear.
It's all right now. Just let me do this now. I don't mind. I think this is a situation where a boy needs a man to talk to. Right, I'll handle him, Dorothy. Boy needs a little masculine understanding. That's all. Buddy! Buddy, could I talk to you a minute, old man?
Who is it?
Well, it's your uncle, buddy, and I just thought maybe we could have a little talk, just us boys, huh?
I don't want to talk to you.
Unlock this door at once. Do you hear me?
I want to remind you he's bigger than you are.
Unlock this door. Now, buddy, come on. Now, look, we're not going to get anywhere at all this way. Now, don't be so belligerent. You know what I mean? Look upon me as a friend, not just an uncle. And you're old enough to discuss something logically and reasonably. Now, tell me, why is going on this picnic and swimming party so important to you?
I've got a date with my girl. Everybody else is going. I'll look silly if I can't go. And my girl's going away tomorrow. I won't even see her the rest of the summer.
All right. Now, did you tell your mother then?
Yeah. My mother never listens to anything I say. She treats me like a baby.
Well, all right. Now, tell you what we'll do. I will talk to your mother.
You said he could go. You said he could go.
Dottie, I did not. I just said I would talk to you. For Pete's sake, you can see his point. Look, his girl is going away.
It seems to me that when his mother says he can't go, dear, for you to go in there and sympathize with him...
Yes, now it makes me look like the monster around here.
All right, now look, let us settle it this way. Why don't I drive them out to the picnic?
You drive them.
Darling, Buddy certainly wouldn't want a chaperone, which is the way he'd feel about it.
And I can't see that it would be any better to have you drive them than if he drove himself. Not the way you drive.
Just what do you mean by that now? What do you mean the way I drive?
You have always driven like a maniac.
I have.
Now, your sister didn't mean it that way,
Wait,
dear.
Yes, I
what
did. I
she
did
said
mean
I-
it that way. He's the craziest driver I know.
What are you
Mother and
talking-
Dad hate to go with him. They always feel they're taking their lives in their hands every time they go in his car.
Look, they're still alive. Mother and Dad have driven with me hundreds of times.
And they are always scared to death.
Well,
I don't know how many times they've asked me to drive them instead.
Now, look, both
but
of you.
that is the most
Darling,
ridiculous-
darling. My goodness, Dorothy asked us over here for dinner, and knowing what a good cook Dorothy is...
Get your hat and purse. Get your hat and purse. We're going home.
Honey.
I am not going to stay here and
Here.
eat. Now, look, Dorothy asked me to talk to him, and I did. That kid wouldn't be the way he is. If you and Harry hadn't given him everything he's always wanted, he is so spoiled.
Well, I must say, you're a fine one to talk about spoiled children.
Well, what do you mean by that, Dorothy? Are you implying that Betsy...
Yes, are you
Well,
implying?
is it okay? Did Mother say I could take the car?
No, it is not okay. You cannot take the car.
Yeah, well, you better do what your mother says, buddy.
Oh, take the car. I don't care what you do.
Now, why do you tell him he can go after raising all the fuss saying he can't go?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just tired of the whole argument.
There, now look, you see, you got your mother all upset.
I don't know why she's so upset. She knows I'm a good driver.
That is not the question. Accidents happen to the best of drivers, even when it isn't their fault. You know that. Now, it seems to me you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Ashamed of yourself. After all your mother and father have done for you. They've been wonderful to you. Seems to me that if I were a young man who wanted to go to college, I'd be just a little bit nicer to my mother.
Well, maybe I don't want to go to college.
My father.
I've got a summer job, and I'm getting $65 a week. Maybe I'll just leave home.
All right, if that's what you want to do, go on and leave home.
Well, all right. All right, I will. I'll leave right now.
Buddy! Oh, that's a fine thing to tell my son to leave home.
Yes, for heaven's sakes, dear, I don't think you should have said
No,
that.
he didn't mean it. He'll be back.
Why you interfere to begin
Look, you
with?
asked me to, Dorothy. You said that
Please, now both of you. Oh, Dorothy, I smell something burning.
I'm not surprised.
Oh, my dinner, oh, dear.
All I can say is you and your logical reasoning. You better just hope that your nephew comes back. Here, grab a dish towel. Wipe the dishes, dear.
Yeah. Where's Dorothy?
Standing out in front, looking up and down the street for Buddy. Well, it was a wonderful dinner, which nobody enjoyed.
Well, I'll tell you this much. This sort of thing won't happen with our son.
Well, don't be so sure. Maybe it won't be a car. Maybe he'll be all excited about his junior driving license for a spaceship.
Oh, don't be silly.
I don't think it's so silly. Look how science has advanced in just the last 50 or 60 years. Look at the things that have come into their own. Telephone, automobiles, airplanes, radio, electricity. Why, Betsy can't believe we didn't have TV when we were little. You remember how old it made us seem? Even asked me if I remembered the dinosaurs.
He's back. What?
Oh?
Came back.
Buddy came back.
Oh, they just drove up. It started to rain, so they're going to have their picnic in the house here.
Oh.
Am I relieved?
Oh, fine, Dorothy.
Well, I told
fine.
you he'd be back.
You think he would have gone on the picnic if it hadn't rained?
Oh, I don't know. I really don't. You just never know.
No, I guess not. Look, I'm sorry I was cross, Dottie.
Oh, I am too. I apologize, really. I tell you, you have my sympathy when your son grows up.
Yeah, well, thank you. Beginning to realize it's not so simple.
I just said, what's he going to do when our son wants to take his spaceship up for a picnic in the air, they'll probably call it.
Look, it's not so funny, that's for sure. It is not so funny.
Henry Morgan and Mitch Miller are Sunday night hosts on CBS Radio, and there's plenty of harmony here when this pair takes over. Henry Morgan's Says Who show is a relatively new idea in entertainment, so a word of explanation could well be in order. Every Sunday night, Henry Morgan gathers a panel of show business stars who have a go at identifying the voices of familiar personalities, and surprisingly, it's not as easy as it sounds. But that's part of the fun on Says Who. And Mitch Miller. Well, here's a man whose name is a synonym for popular music. What he doesn't know about the business, he's merely forgotten. And the Mitch Miller Show holds open house every Sunday night for entertainers who talk shop and perform. A very lively show. In fact, thanks to Mitch Miller, Henry Morgan, and all of their friends, Sunday's a very lively night at the Star's Address. The Couple Next Door is written by Peg Lynch and stars Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce with Muriel Kirkland and Larry Robinson, and is produced by Walter Hart. Listen again tomorrow to The Couple Next Door.